individual picks this split. We know he's a powerhouse on the Cassiopeia. He's going up against Cryan's Azir.
It's also the one time he's played it, we got that highlight reel of him accidentally flash ulting the wrong direction. So hopefully we get none of that from Icon this time around. But still, I like the comp that OMG have gone for. You've got a decent amount of fighting power and skirmish power in this Elise and Aatrox pick, and I want to see them try and utilize that towards the top side of the map to set themselves up for success.
It's time for game number 2 here, and let's see if OMG can fight for their place in the table right now. They need every single win that they can get. And bear in mind, I just want to throw this out as a little tidbit. If OMG wins this series, they will actually overtake RNG in the standings. RNG going to be playing in our second series today. So this is going to be important for OMG. They could get themselves up to that 7th place spot, get themselves a little bit safer in the standings. If they lose, though, they'll be on 7 and 7 and on the cusp of falling out of playoff contention.
Wards being placed on both sides of the jungle, so everyone trying to spot out where these junglers are starting, and this is very crucial for this early game. We're harking on a lot about this top lane matchup, but these junglers can be the defining feature when it comes to Renekton versus Aatrox. So I'm going to be watching this pathing from both Wei and FLICKR to see how quickly they can get up there and disrupt that matchup. Already though, you can see Xiaobai spotted out the fact that Curse is going to be keeping control of this top lane to not let Xiaobai get a ward in onto that blue buff.
Yeah, that already does tell you something, and OMG going to move into the lane on the bottom side as well. SMLZ stacking up that wave, so the whole of eStar, they're going to be aware of where FLICKR is starting on the top side of the map there. The question is, what do they do with that information?
Well, the big question here for me is how does FLICKR want to approach his clear? Because there is the opportunity to go towards Grom and then potentially sneak up for a quick level 2 dive. With the way the Xiaobai looks like he's playing the lane at the moment, is pushing in pretty aggressively here, and that could give an opportunity for FLICKR to make a play towards that top side ASAP before Wei can get up there.
You can see FLICKR will move towards that bottom side of the map as Wei will be pathing the opposite direction. There is a ward on that red buff, remember, so they'll be aware if Wei does go towards his top half of his jungle. But I want to talk a little bit about the 2v2 in the bottom lane there, because Wink and Xiaoxi, they're a duo that we know will go for kills if they're given the opportunity. Will they have that kind of opportunity here in a 2v2?
It's going to be a little bit more difficult. The Nautilus into Leona is very much a case of if you engage first as the Nautilus, your Aftershock and not having enough of the resistances that Leona gets will mean that you lose out as the Nautilus in the trade. However, when you've got FLICKR in here as well, that definitely makes it an unfair fight.
Wink the target right here, and immediately 2 summoners burn already. And that's just FLICKR literally shows his face. That's how ugly he is. He comes out of the brush and immediately everyone's terrified.
Well, this is why we usually see Varus paired with something like a Thresh or a Braum or the Tam Kench to keep him safe. Speaking of keeping safe, Curse is definitely going to need a little bit of that now, trying to freeze the wave in front of his tower, but we're going top to bot here.
Here we go, eStar teleporting in from the side of Cryan as well. Wei is tanking the tower though. No, it's Xiaobai tanking. They will get the first blood. Dive in the bottom side as well. Kill for kill right here. Hit goes in onto Cole. Xiaoxi still here underneath the tower. Going to get what damage he can down. Has his Eclipse as well. FLICKR's tanking but has the repel. SMLZ takes one. Won't take a second one. Very clean from OMG.
And a big win for OMG, setting themselves up in the bottom lane. They got 2 kills onto SMLZ, and now this Kalista can pick up her boots. And when we look towards the Rift Heralds and how you want to try and play towards that around the 8-minute mark, these boots can set up OMG to push in this wave super aggressively and go towards the top side of the map. Or what they can even instead do is do what we saw from eStars in the last game. Forgo the Rift Herald control, because your extra attack speed with this boot pickup can make you clear turret plates super quickly.
We could see them try and contest eStar a little bit on these dragons as well. That's what we saw in game number 1 from OMG, but it didn't work out for them. This time though, immediately we see OMG using this early aggression, going for a dive and contesting the early gold lead. This time they're ahead.
Sees well, Cold moving out, trying to get a ward into spot where Wei might be on the bottom side of the map. keeping Icon safe in a lot of situations, but Icon doesn't really need to be kept safe because Hacker is playing up towards this top side. Icon getting wards again, actually. So this is where all the focus from OMG is now turned to. We're winning bottom lane. We need to get Curse back into this spot in the top lane.
Crane and Icon, you won't expect much action there in the mid lane. They'll just be farming up. The question about these two will be where they're able to go on the map to make things happen. We already saw Crane teleport to that top lane to get an assist on the tower dive, and he's managed to keep even in CS in the meantime as well, whereas Icon doesn't have that teleport, so won't have the same opportunities. And once again, you see Crane looking for these plays.
I'm watching Hacker, though, still. He's clearing out his wolf camp. Xiaobai has done a good job to freeze the wave in the top side, so not going to be able to look for too much of an aggressive play for Hacker in the top lane. So now we could potentially look towards a repeat performance in the bottom lane. No flash onto Xiaoxi. You have no heal on Wink. This would be a location Hacker would love to revisit.
Away. He's going to be hanging around as well, so won't be quite as simple this time around. He's waiting before pulling the trigger, just shoots the Prey Seeker, decides tunneling through would be a little bit too aggressive. Xiaobai and Curse just going 1-for-1 in the top lane here. Nice little trade from Xiaobai. Curse can't trade it back. Hacker
is only level 4, Wei's level 5, so he's trying to clear out a couple of these camps to try and catch up, but unfortunately not able to do so. So Wei should be able to solo out this dragon for himself, while Wink and Xiaoxi quickly pushing in this bottom lane so they can rotate across and be the first to answer if anything goes awry at that dragon.
Yep, they'll be available to go over that. Hacker in the meantime is going to accept defeat when it comes to the dragon and just settle for a Rift Scuttler in the top side of the map. Herald going to be spawning in 1 minute and 15 seconds, so expect Wei to start to shift his focus towards the top side.
So the reason that Hacker is slightly behind when it comes to levels to Wei is because he got that really good play on the bottom side, but wasn't clearing his camps as quickly as Wei was. Wei had a cleaner dive, then went back to his own jungle to start farming up, whereas Hacker stuck around for the second kill onto Xiaoxi. So the farming just hasn't been as efficient for Hacker so far. But as an Elise, you don't really mind. What you're doing as an Elise is setting up your team for success before you start to fall off later. And right now, that's exactly what Hacker has done. Just unfortunate that as a result, the dragon goes across the eStar.
Yeah, the big question will be, how does he keep doing that? Because we saw the dive very early on in the bottom side, and it was traded with a dive from Wei on the top side. Since that dive, it's very much been a bit of a mind game battle between these two junglers. They're each just trying to read each other, trying to figure out exactly what the plan is and do the opposite.
Curse, very wary in this top side of the map, knows that Wei is going to be up here. You even see Cryin started to dip into that fog of war. So Curse playing very far back in this lane, and this is where it can really be a problem for Curse now. We talked about how volatile this top lane matchup can be. Well, one kill over towards Xiaobai, already got that Executioner's calling as well. Curse is going to very quickly start to fall further behind in this CS.
See OMG move up towards the top side. I mentioned it a minute ago. Rift Herald is on the map, and Hackers already start this one off. There won't be a dragon to trade for this one, but Wink and Xiaoxi will be able to try and get themselves some plates.
They will get some plates, but not as quickly as you usually expect. Wink has gone for this cull, which means that he doesn't really have the damage to start working through these towers. And don't forget, we already talked about SMLZ. Having this extra 2 kills has given him control of the wave in the bottom lane because of how quickly he can push with the attack speed, and that's why they roam up and roam back without losing too much.
Cryin tries to make a play. Icon with a really nice flash, though, dodges it, and he has a lot of damage to himself. Ult won't connect, though. Wei goes back in, gets himself a knock-up. Doesn't really have the damage to threaten Icon, though, who's happy to go for a 2v1 right now. Wei runs up with his tail between his legs. Icon makes a stand in the mid lane.
We were wondering when Icon was going to show up to the stage. The superstar has arrived on this Cassiopeia, managing to get the 2v1 against eStars, and now OMG have control of this mid. Hacker is getting a scuttle crab for himself as well, answering back for some of that early farming advantage that Wade garnered for himself.
Yeah.
So great play from OMG's mid laner to help out the whole of OMG.
It has to be said, though, this split, Icon's Cassiopeia ults have not been that great. Imagine if that connected, though. Imagine if he gets the stun there. He probably finds himself the kill in the 2v1.
Wink has moved across towards this mid lane. A play is looking to be made off of that back timing onto Icon, who's got no flash.
Doesn't have flash. Solar Flare hits him, and he knows he's done for on this one. Knockups there as well. Krang gets the kill. Cold trying to answer for this one, and he will get one onto Way. Cold in the right place at the right time.
And they needed less members from OMG to make that turnaround play. So while this is going on, SMLZ pushing in this bottom lane, making sure he's growing that CS lead now to 20, and even nearly getting a turret plate. Now he's in trouble though.
He's gone way too far for this one. Xiaobai will be here to get the stun. Cleanse available. SMLZ low and will go down. The shot won't finish off Xiaobai. Pulled in by Cold, but Xiaoxi won't even go into tower range.
2 kills now on this Renekton. And you can see Wei is going to move up towards his top side to collect the wave, so it's not even like eStar is going to lose out a huge amount on that play. And Wink now can push in this wave aggressively against Cold and get a turret play back for himself. Great play from eStar to get a little bit of a gold lead for themselves.
Answering the answer. They make a play mid, OMG answer for it, and so the eStar then answer for the play that OMG makes.
Too many answers, there's too many solutions, but either way, eStar have found all of them. FLICKR, though, does still have this Rift Herald, and I want to see where he's able to make use of this. Again, I would love to see it go in towards the likes of SMLZ or Icon, but when you've already got a couple of turret plates gone on the bottom side of the map, adding a bit of pressure with this Rift Herald could be exactly the play OMG need themselves.
Rift Herald going to be dropped in the bottom side now. And FLICKR, I think, deciding that they don't really have time to wait to try and optimize this Herald. They've just got to try and brute force this tower as fast as possible. They managed to get one plate before it charged, and with the Demolish, they will be able to grab this.
Yeah, they get exactly what they need. It's perfect for them in this scenario. Utilizing the advantages they set up early for SMLZ, now they got a bunch more gold onto this Kalista. When he said, hey look, Icon needs time to scale, he's looking for the later game damage options. SMLZ being this far ahead gives OMG great control of these early objective fights.
Xiaobai, in the meantime, gets some free time to himself to, you know, ponder things, start a new hobby, take a few tower plates, whatever he wants to do up there on the top side.
Just crock thoughts, you know, trying to figure out what he's going to have. But when we look towards eStars, this is where it starts to become a little bit of a problem. We talked about them trying to get these flank positions off of Xiaobai. Wei as well going to be trying to do his best to start off these with Xiaoxi's long-range ultimates to prep for Wei and Xiaobai. The problem here, though, is, well, you've got a Kalista that's pretty fed. FLICKR and Cold now, because they've started to get a bit of vision, can watch for eStars coming in on those flank positions. But eStar said, hey, we're happy to start trading objectives back and forth. If we're at least waiting and not giving you the options to go for these big team fights where you can solidify your leads, we're still winning out.
Yeah, they're just going to split the map completely. Curse is like, what are you doing here? Why are you recalling here? We'll stop the recall in the end. Destroys the tunnel. And I think it's important to mention as well, for the second game in a row now, it's Xiaobai that's the one with a lead for the side of eStars. It's Xiaobai that's had the attention, that's been able to get ahead.
And it's something we've seen eStar begin to do. Up until their WE series, it's been pretty much all in on the bottom side of the map. But actually, to say it again, in OMG they started to do this, but to not the same extent and not as successfully.
Oh, Xiaoxi wanted to get some deep wards, but he's gone a little bit too deep for this one. He's found out and will be brought down by the Rend. I like that they waited for Hacker's Cocoon to try and give him the assist on that one, but he missed.
Xiaoxi way too far forward there. Was hoping to pop in, get a quick ward down and escape thanks to that Pop Blossom, but that's not the case. Wasn't able to get back over the wall. And now you've got issues. Not Pop Blossom, but for eStar, yeah. I've been watching too much Nico, but eStar still, now they're down one of their wardings that they could have used in conjunction with Wei, and this gives the opportunity for OMG to get back onto the map and try and control this vision that we talked about, pushing back Xiaobai and Wei from being able to find these positions where they can catch OMG off guard.
That would have been the true Nico play, though. If he manages to pull the Pop Blossom off there, he's pretended to be Leona even since the draft. Pulls it off in the end, no, obviously. We are going to see now everyone resetting once again. The Rift Herald will be spawning pretty shortly. Dragon not up for another 2.5 minutes here. Tower play gold actually relatively even across the board. Most of it going to SMLZ for OMG. A bigger chunk, though, going into the pocket of Xiaobai on this Renekton. But you can see both squads, they've moved all in towards the top half of the map here.
Well, they want to try and set up for this Rift Herald way. Moving over the back of the pit, we'll be able to clear out the standing vision for OMG right now. And if OMG cannot control this river, look at the avenues for Shelby to attack. He can start to move in multiple different areas. Set up with Shousey.
Nice repel. Shousey can't get onto Hacker here, but he will find SMLZ, who's completely alone. We saw it a couple of times last game as well. SMLZ getting caught out. This time he doesn't have a Tom Kench with him.
That's the second time now this game as well. He's gone that bit too far forward. And you already know that eStars have control of the river. We were just talking about it. Greed from SMLZ puts OMG on the back foot, and eStars looking to pick up this Rift here, but watch Crying, watch Shelby. They're trying to get in behind OMG here.
They're going for a big old flank. Zenith play to land this time, but he's once again gone way too deep. Has a stopwatch, so he keeps himself alive. Icon will finish that kill off. Shelby desperately trying to get into the fray, but he can't find his way in. Rift Herald will be taking no flash forward onto Icon here. Gets out to the back line. Empress Divide keeps everyone safe. Void Rush though from Way. He wants to finish these kills and gets 2 for himself. Curse can't trade it. He falls as well. And Hacker, he's flashing for the kill. He's gone full tilt mode. Now he tries to get out. But Xiaobai might just be able to finish things off. Crying chasing as well. Hacker, he hasn't got anywhere to run. Goes into the sky. But he's on the wrong side of the map. Where are you going to go? Crying. He's going to happily get that kill.
And now eStars have set themselves up gloriously here. At the beginning of that fight, measly 1,000 gold. Now they're sitting 3,000 gold ahead. They have the Rift Herald in their back pocket as well, and eStars can look to accelerate once more. OMG, they tried to take the fight, but the mistake from SMLZ means it's never on even footing.
And SMLZ once again making these mistakes, and he's one of the veteran players when you think of OMG. He kind of came back into the squad after taking a break last year, or taking a break, playing on a different team last year. He's returned to OMG, and you expect from the veteran players that these silly mistakes wouldn't be happening.
He left OMG in 2017, went to Rogue Warriors, then across to Suning, and has been successful so far, but not so much in this game. And this is where we start to see eStars putting their foot down. If you try to fight us 4v5, we'll be having none of that. And I'm not sure why OMG tried to aggress on in the first place. You have so many ways for eStars to get onto them, between Crying with the swoop and boop, never even got to use it in that fight. Shelby as well, who's just able to flash engage onto the carries. It was always going to be an eStars fight, and a bit too brave from OMG in that scenario.
Rift Herald down in the mid lane now as eStar start to turn up the heat once again. We know that this team loves to accelerate the pace of the game once they get the lead. Well, they've got the 3,000 gold lead to work with, but the Rift Herald will be denied as the whole of OMG is here to contest. And this Dragon up for grabs for both squads. Xiaobai in the top lane, but he's got his teleport available. Crying, what are you doing? I don't know about that one.
Baited him, well done. There's the hook. No hook available now for the Nautilus. Cold, what are you going to do?
Hey,
huh?
It worked. They're backing away.
Yeah.
They're gonna get the what is happening right now? Xiaobai coming in the backside, though, looking for the flank. Solar Flare goes down. Dragon to eStar. Can they get the fight, though? Shousey backs away. Xiaobai causing terror in the ranks of OMG. Icon takes a good chunk from Crying as Xiaobai getting aggressed on by the rest of the squad. Icon stunned up. Have they got the damage to finish it? Xiaobai gets the kill. Oh no! Cold pulls himself into the fight. He hit the wall and now he goes down. Curse the next one on the chopping block. He's executed by Wink. A second kill to Xiaobai. And eStar with a magnificent fight.
And that was beautiful. We talked about how eStar want to get the flanks. They want to threaten Icon and SMLZ. Xiaobai disrupting the entire fight from OMG. They're flanked on all sides, and they end up in the ground.
Now they go in towards this mid lane. SMLZ is going to try and find a kill onto Shousey, but he's just going to be locked up instead. Had the cleanse, Ren stack, but he's not got the damage. That's a Leona. You can't kill Leona. Now they get a tower for themselves. They get a bonus kill on top of it.
And suddenly that 3,000 gold lead, mistake after mistake, has pushed it to 6,000 gold now in favor of eStars. And as we start to look towards this Baron, it's only going to get worse as eStars can push forward and be even more aggressive in and around that objective.
6,000 gold lead. We were dead even just a couple of minutes ago, and this is the thing about eStars. They just explode onto the map.
And the Colonel can show that right there. We were pretty much dead even throughout this game up until we get to about that 13-15 minute mark, and that's where it plummets in favor of eStar. And you can see here, crying... Whatever that was. Okay, but watch where Xiaobai is. So eStars are playing keep away for so long here, so that then Xiaobai can get in, threaten onto the back line. We talked about trying to play keep away for the carries of OMG, but you can't do that when there's so many different directions people are coming from. Wei is threatening from the right, Xiaobai to the left, and Icon, here I am, stuck in the middle with the rest of eStars.
Coaches.
There's a series of unfortunate events that led a bit in that fight. But it went the way we expected when all things are said and done.
A series of unfortunate events, I'd say more of a comedy of errors, to be quite honest. Cryan, I don't know how he wasn't punished for his mistake right at the start, but it's Cold that ends up with the egg on his face. And now, oh, Curse wants to find a 1v1. In fact, no. He's got the rest of his squad on the way as well. And Xiaobai, I think, realizes that he's going to give up the ghost here. World Ender comes through, though. Curse still got a decent amount of health to work with. Xiaobai is going to have everything on cooldown. Flashes forward to try and get the kill. Curse has the sustain, though. Hacker gets the kill. This is traded for a Baron.
Yeah, it's not really worth it when you trade it for the Baron. That's the problem with making plays bottom side of the map. When you've still got Baron up on the cards, and with the on-hit Varus and Crying on this Azir, you're going to rip through that as eStar.
The shutdown goes the way of Hacker. He's very much been one of the shining lights here for OMG so far in this game. And we said he was the one that had to kind of push this squad through the early game, set these plays up. He has been doing that. But unfortunately, it's when it comes to these 5v5s, that's when this OMG squad feels like they don't quite have the right direction. They don't quite have the game plan figured out.
The problem was they never got the 5v5 to start things off. It was a 4 versus 5 because SMLZ was picked off a Rift Herald. And that's started this whole snowball for eStars. We were dead even until that point. But one mistake is all you can give to eStars, same as many of our top teams, and they're able to run away with it.
And now with the Baron, we saw it in game 1. eStar know how to use this Baron. They know how to snowball their lead once they find it. They're going to have Cryant away in the bottom lane. As Wink and Xiaoxi were pushing in the mid, they are going to regroup and get towards the next wave. But I like that they're all taking it a little bit slow here. They're trying to make sure that they sync up these waves so Xiaobai has the opportunity to push in the top side at the same time.
They're trying to get these waves to hit at the same point, as you said. The main thing here, though, is right as this Baron buff starts to roll out, you'll have that Dragon spawning as well, so that can put eStars onto Soul Point. So this pressure... Oh, Wink.
Oh, Wink, what have you done? This is going to be the lead for eStar in trouble right now. 80 carry caught out of position. Doing his best SMLZ impression right there. What can OMG do with it, though?
They can at least stop this Baron buff pressure. Now that you're 4 versus 5 as OMG, you can look to push in aggressively, knowing you've got the man advantage, and a big damage dealer on eStars down as well. So look, you can see Wei, he's completely abandoned this push now. So they will manage to keep at least one of their turrets on the outer map remaining, but it probably won't stand for very long once eStars start to get rolling once again. That top lane turret is really difficult to try and keep hold of in these fights.
Dragons on the map, as you rightly said. 30 seconds still on the Baron buff, but I think the Baron push is all but done now. OMG starting this Dragon off. They should be able to get this one, but can they actually get away with taking this? You can see eStar collapsing on all sides. All 5 members from OMG are here.
I was about to say, Xiaobai is still pushing on this top lane. Nearly finished the back, but stopped it just in time. So eStars are just looking to corral OMG back into their base to give Xiaobai time to pick up this turret.
We'll be able to get the tier 2 in the top lane. And that is the final tier 2 now. You can see 6 towers taken for eStar. That's the magic number. That means that OMG now, the only place on the map that they fully control is inside the walls of their base. On the OMG, on the other hand, though, they've only taken 1 tower so far this game. Even if they start to win fights, they've got a long way to go to break into eStar's base.
We are starting to see some crucial items picked up on OMG's side. Look at Icon's build. He's pretty happy right now and can deal quite a bit of damage. This could be a bit of a saving grace for OMG in these fights if Icon is able to pop off.
That's the thing. He's playing that Cassiopeia. There is that late game pop-off potential. One massive petrifying gaze can turn the face of a game. And especially when you've got the Kalista, when you've got an Aatrox to jump on in on that grouped up fight as well. If eStar stack up like that, it can still very much go the way of OMG.
It can also be Icon with some of these great petrifying gaze, forcing Xiaobai and Wei out of these fights and giving a little bit of that potential to kite back for OMG and find themselves in better positions. Xiaobai will go down very quickly to this Cassiopeia because he doesn't really have any of that magic resist built just yet. Only the Merc Treads, which is realistically negligible magic resist. So instead, Wei is starting to go towards the likes of the Spectre's Cowl here to get some of that magic resist, but it's not really enough right now.
Wei is nervous. They're staying very still. They know his vision is based on movement. But Wei doesn't fall for it. Goes over towards his red buff. He's just going to donate this one over to Wink. And I like the attempt there from OMG. I like that they're being proactive, trying to find a play somewhere on the map. But it doesn't pay off this time.
But we'll give them time to start pushing out their waves, making sure that they've got control of these side lanes. Because when you're looking at Baron being up in just a minute, Curse needs to really push this bottom lane out to stop the pressure from Xiaobai as that objective spawns.
You can see the stats on the right. The gold difference there for Xiaobai. Almost 4,000 over the likes of Curse. That is absurd. That is a disgusting gold lead. And you can see it reflected in the items as well. Just the Black Cleaver finish for Curse. Whereas Xiaobai, he's got the Blade of the Rune King on top of that, and he's almost finished off Hysterics as well.
It's why you've got to be so careful as Curse. And while we talked about how snowbally this matchup can be, Xiaobai's managed to run away with it off of that early gank. And now he's reaping his rewards. Wei trying to put Curse down once more.
Yeah, he's going for the late gank as well, but Curse flashes and uses the World Ender. Two pretty big cooldowns though.
And I love how both OMG and eStar are going for these plays before the Baron is on the map. That was the big problem we saw with OMG prior to this. They tried to make a play on the bottom side. When Baron was up and available, eStars take Baron no contest. Now they need to be a lot careful though and make sure they're in a position to contest right now, because Cryin and Wink once again will shred this Baron.
And once again, this is exactly the same as what we saw from eStar last game. They take all of the tier 2s, then they slow everything down. They go, okay, let's set up for Baron, let's try and make the play. TP from Xiaobai. He wants to go for a pinch here. He's going to have the home guard. Needs to be cautious though, doesn't want to go too deep by himself. He's going to be hiding out in this brush. SMLZ, you got to be careful, my friend. They're not quite going to pull the trigger on the play just yet.
OMG know that Xiaobai is somewhere though. That's why we're seeing a lot of wards being placed on that bottom side of the jungle. Try and spot him. eStars have started this up though.
Oh, here we go. They just wanted the fight. They were just baiting them in. Hacker uses his Zhonya's very early on. Xiaoxi walking forward. Xiaobai the target here for OMG. They're trying to bring down the Croc. And eStar can't actually connect onto the fight the way that they wanted. Xiaobai pulled back in. Ren takes him down and SMLZ starts the fight off right. This is what OMG wanted here. They find this skirmish instead of a team fight.
They needed the opportunity to just kite back. That's what they got there because Xiaobai was separated from the team. They managed to step away from eStar, take down Xiaobai, and now they're getting turrets as well.
SMLZ happy to just wail away on this tower, get a couple of extra minions as well.
Watch Curse as well. He's gone down towards this bottom side to push out the bottom wave. So they know OMG. They're not trying to go for the Baron just yet. They just want to set themselves back into this game when it comes to tempo of these waves.
10 seconds on the Mountain Drake. This would be soul, well, this would be soul point for either of our teams here.
The problem for OMG though is that top lane wave is pushing in way too effectively, which means that eStar can now go towards this and just wait for Xiaobai to walk out of the base.
Well, they're going to start things off here. Wink, the one hitting the DPS down. Curse has spotted it out. If he can steal this one, I'd be amazed. It's going to be smited away by Wei. Cold wants to try and find the fight. Wink, he's going to be forced to flash here. Will get away with his life. Gets rid of the blast cone as well, just to make sure no one can follow. eStar once again snag an objective.
And a lot of golden experience was lost that top lane turret.
Ooh.
Oh, Curse getting a little bit wary of where eStar were going.
You can see the sheer respect from Curse. He's been feeling the wrath of eStar this entire series. The second he feels anything's wrong, he's like, World Ender, I'm out of here.
So now we start to look at the items that are here for OMG though. Curse finally completing his death stance. This is such a crucial pick for this Aatrox. Pushes him up to that 30% CDR, which is great, but the armor, magic resist, the reduction on the damage that can come in off of this item could be a lot better for Curse coming into these fights. We got to look at Icon as well. Now finish off the Void Staff. So the non-existent magic resist that's on eStars right now is even less effective. And we got to look at Kalista. SMLZ now really starting to ramp up. Nearly has that Infinity Edge completed. So OMG, yes, they're behind, but definitely the items are still there for them to turn a team fight. And we've seen already if eStars can't get the flanks that they want, well, they're not going to be able to win those fights.
Cryan is playing Azir though, and you can always just try and force this Baron. It will be spotted out, and that means that Wei and Cryan have to back away from this one. It was a valiant attempt. I mean, when you're playing this kind of composition, you always just attempt that play, right? See if it'll work out.
Wei taking a bit low though off of it. Will be able to heal up off of some of his camps, but he might not get an opportunity.
Oh, engage comes through for Xiaoxi. Solar Flare isn't going to hit onto anyone though, and he's going to be stunned up himself. Might go down here. Xiaoxi, the first one to fall. Fate's Call saves Cold, and Xiaoxi actually walked away somehow. Void Rush onto Cold as well, but he somehow survives. Both supports barely live.
Front to back fights like that favor OMG, where Icon's able to continuously DPS without the threat of eStars getting onto him. Xiaoxi's taken low though, Wei still up and healthy, so eStars decide to go for this Baron, but OMG looking to contest. This is really good from OMG.
Yeah, they're willing to go for these fights, willing to keep things going here. Cold is nowhere near them. He's still on his way. Same with Xiaoxi. Both of them trying to regroup with their teams. Last time around, at this point in the game, eStar were like 10, 11,000 gold ahead. This time, OMG keeping it far more competitive. And you can see eStar, they're struggling to have the same impact.
eStar not playing as well to their win conditions this time around. You need Xiaobai and Wei to get in, disrupt the backline, but we haven't seen that in the last 2 or 3 fights. Now, though, they're starting this 2-3-man Baron once again, but OMG moving in, trying to see if they can push them off.
This will surely be spotted out, but how quickly? Still 5,000 on the Baron. Teleport coming from Curse as well. Just DPS on Xiaoxi, but in the meantime, Wink's taking the Baron. Xiaoxi goes in. He's the first one to drop. Wink knocked up by the likes of Curse. He's going in, and the AD carry falls. Cold happy to tank it, but it's a nice ult coming out. Icon desperately trying to DPS. SMLZ, one of the last men standing. Hacker will survive, and it's a triple for SMLZ.
OMG find the perfect fight with all of eStars grouped up in the pit. OMG don't have to worry about anyone getting onto SMLZ and Icon. Icon, massive amount of damage in that fight. SMLZ free hitting onto several targets, and that's why OMG are able to come up clutch in that fight. Only Xiaobai now remains with the Baron buff.
And this team fighting from OMG, this is what I wanted to see in the first game. This is what I've been wanting to see for them for the last few games of play.
It's a great performance from OMG, but again, eStar is not playing to their win condition. When we're looking in towards this pit, how do you try and get the flank? You're all grouped, you're on this small area, and this sets up OMG so well to fight front to back, which is where Icon in this backline is getting work done. A great Emperor's Divide comes through from Cryan to actually kill Icon. Otherwise, this would have been just a full wipe of the eStars line.
I love how the Cryan gets the Emperor's Divide. SMLZ pushed over, then he just like dances back around again.
So if eStars want to try and make that play, well, can't really now that Baron's down. Ideally, it should just be Wei and Cryan in the pit to still have Xiaobai threatening a flank alongside Xiaoxi. But when you commit all 5 members, that's where the problems arise. Now eStar will have to try and see how they can use Xiaobai's only Baron buff for them to get some of these waves in order. But realistically, it's going to be Dragon that they're looking at in these 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Dragon going to be spawning on the map here. This would be Soul for eStars and Soul Point for OMG. You can see OMG just going to force mid prio here. Make sure that they're the ones in control of that mid lane so they can happily walk over towards this Dragon.
Look at the wards for OMG as well. They'll be able to spot out where Xiaobai's coming from. Xiaoxi looking to move in as a dive buddy with Xiaobai right now.
I'm having flashbacks to the first fight of the game here with Xiaobai finding the flank. This is where OMG fell apart early on. This is how eStar snowballed. Wink misses though, and it's going to be the Dragon going the way of OMG. Now the fight is already a kill as Wei falls. Xiaoxi getting into the backline. Here we go. Cryan goes in. He's trying to DPS down Hacker, but he's going to fall himself. Wink's still surviving though in the meantime. Curse has to try and shut him down. Flashes over the wall. Xiaobai finds himself alone, but actually Curse is going to be abandoned by the rest of his squad. Blast Cone means he will get away, and 2 men survive on either side.
SMLZ nearly having enough damage to do the work for OMG, but unfortunately Icon gets caught by Xiaoxi, killed by Xiaobai, and means that main source of damage on Icon from that mid lane is no longer there for OMG. This is where you see Xiaoxi's position and Xiaobai's is crucial. They get directly onto Icon here and can burst down the Cassiopeia before she has any real impact when they work with Cryin. Again, Cryin jumping into this backline to try and get onto SMLZ, and there's just not enough damage to finish out these fights. It's nearly there for OMG, but unfortunately Icon wasn't able to get the flash out in that scenario.
Honestly, it feels a little bit like Cryin is almost playing distraction for Wink during this fight. Wink is able to just free fire in the backline in the meantime, and look at Wink's build. It's so defensive. The Wits End, the GA, not going for the Hurricane, not trying to maximize DPS, just trying to make sure that he can survive.
And he has been doing that just far, but look towards SMLZ. He's now hit that full build moment. This is where SMLZ is looking to shine. If he can get a slightly better team fight where Icon even gets 1 to 2 more Twin Fangs off, I think that's a very different fight in favor of OMG. So do not count OMG out of this just yet. And especially with both teams now sitting on Soul Point, this next Dragon, this next Baron could be crucial.
OMG were the ones that won the team fight at Baron. OMG were the ones that just got that Mountain Drake. I am far from counting OMG out of this game just yet. Honestly, this could well go to the 3-game series, but eStar have been the ones in control. Bear in mind, they've had the gold lead pretty much this entire game. You cannot disrespect that. But it has been when they can snowball and shut an enemy team out that eStar found their success.
The thing is, though, we're starting to hit the 6-item point. This is where your gold lead stops mattering as much.
Yep.
I mean, look, Cryin's nearly got full items. We just talked about SMLZ having full. Wink is about to finish off his last item too. All that we're really waiting on is the likes of Icon, who's gone for a bit more of these expensive builds, to have the same full build coming through at the moment. But this is where you're starting to see that it's not going to matter as much going forward. It's going to come down to how well both these teams execute the team fights. The funny thing is, though, if OMG win this game, that does put us on the opportunity for OMG to come back into this 50-50 win that they have and manage to keep for pretty much throughout the split.
Yeah, that's right. If OMG lose the series, but it's a 3-game series, it means that they will finish on 7-7 with 17 wins and 17 losses. They will be the exact 50% team in the LPL. They've held that title more times than I think they want to admit across the course of this split.
It's been a long time. I think at least 2-3 weeks now they have consistently won one game, lost the game, and put them back directly to a 50% win rate in series and in games. Here, I actually think OMG, if they can find the right team fight, can force us to a game number 3. eStar's though by the corner of SMLZ!
Oh, nice cleanse flash though. Or sorry, QSS flash. His cleanse will be available for the next fight here.
Why are you there? Every time SMLZ is being way too greedy.
Because he needed to bait out Wei's flash. It was all part of the plan.
It's full build. Why is he even taking the farm? Here we go, though. eStars again. If they're the ones in the pit, it's better for OMG. Now they can start to move forward. Curse and Code need to be the ones leading the charge here, though.
This fight could decide everything. 2,000. Baron's already gone. Hacker uses the repel, and that could mean he's caught out. Chains of Corruption, but he's got his Zhonya's. Face call comes through. Curse is on the back line, trying to disrupt, trying to do damage. And in the meantime, Icon DPS and down on Xiaobai. First top laner falls, though. It's going to be Cold, and everyone to follow. eStars have done it. They've taken this fight. Everyone remains an Icon against the world. He can't finish off the kills, and he will be taken down. No way. Has to go Cold, and Icon slithers away somehow here. Wei still spotting him. Teleport going to be used. He's going to try and channel the back. There's no way out of this one. In comes Cryin to reap his reward.
Triumph just about keeps Wei alive, and that'll be eStars now having the opportunity to close out this game. The death timers are far too long in OMG.
OMG going to be losing out this series. And what a series it has been. This 2-0 scoreline does not represent game number 2 here. But eStar continue their dominance and climb the standings once more.
OMG unable to find a footing once again.